what have you learned since the COVID outbreak started?
Since the COVID outbreak started, I've learned that family and health is really all that matters. You can take my work away, but the safety of my family is my reason for existing. And to entertain, I've learned that, I've known this all my life, but it's been confirmed since the outbreak that I have to entertain. I want to put smiles on other people's faces. I've learned that squash is a fruit. There is no denying that. That's what I've learned. I've learned that my father loved cradling my sister when she was a baby, and just one of the things he loved the most was just that moment, that quiet moment late at night, just him and his daughter, and feeding her with a bottle of milk. I never knew that. I've learned I don't like sitting at the computer for more than 6 hours, like in a day at a time.
That's a lot of learning. Did you pick up any new skills or like develop any skills during this period?
New skills. I didn't learn to pick up, I didn't learn knitting all of a sudden, or, I didn't become a better, baseball player, or learn to skate. I'd like to try that, is to learn to skate. But the new skills, I've improved the skills that I have currently. That's what but new skills, aside from the ones that I've already, compassion, it's a skill. Patience, that's, I've learned that takes a skill. Humor. My new skill is being funnier. Maybe people would disagree with that. Definitely the things that I could already do, I've gotten better.
Right.
That's a no-brainer. So since COVID, as an entertainer, what I've been doing is being personable and working with people. So, it's interesting that I've had to reimagine, reinvent how I go about, existing as an artist. That's why I think it's hard question to answer, because it's since the outbreak, I've quickly put those things into practice, sound designing, that's dealing with, today's technology, all these things that I've been resisting as a musician, but just, up until now, doing because it's a added perk to what I can offer. But now it's I really have to apply these skills, and so therefore I just become a better sound designer, because I'm having to deal with Logic, with all these digital workstations. As an engineer, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so, but that was not a new skill. That was a skill that I already obtained, but I've just now become better at it.
Right. You're diving down into your skill set.
Yeah, and as you're talking, the new skill is I've been doing a lot more self-tape and things like this. And again, it's not a new skill, because I should have, in the before time, been an accomplished TV personality. But it's with this job as artistic associate at Fourth Line, it's well, now how do I conduct business? How do I raise the bar and do more of a media presentation? Now with this business, visuals is a big thing.
Yes.
So how to present yourself and to give yourself a
the aura, I suppose, of competence and the talent that you are. How can you make other people see the talent that you have when you naturally are not a human being that wants to say, "Hey, look at me"?
That's right.
I totally get that.
Yes, very well put.
I totally get that.
So in the before time, I was saying before time, like I didn't do any film and TV.
No.
Just I was a stage actor.
Yeah.
And that is gone. So now I really like I have been showing my face on Zoom, like public readings, workshops, doing self-tapes. It's like, visual performance, visual storytelling, digital storytelling is all. Digital storytelling is visual.
Right.
Like
yeah.
The majority of it is visual. So that's taking an element, a theatrical element, and then now committing to visual. So is that a new skill? Maybe that is a new skill for me. Is being able to produce digital storytelling. I was actually, before COVID hit, Steáfan, I was actually really contemplating, like, this is crazy to be repeating a moment over and over again.
Yeah.
What is that saying of my ability as an artist? It's like it's putting me in this rut where I feel like I'm in a rut where it's like, okay, well, I'm just another product that is having to put out the same thing. Like give them what they saw yesterday.
Like a widget maker, Yeah.
That's a widget maker, yeah. Yes. And so I was even conflicted. I had made the conscious decision. It's like I want to do less repetition, and I want to explore more and get creative.
So this is a perfect time for you in some ways.
Well, and that's the thing. And as I sit here and do this, this Q&A,
yeah,
it's like I'm actually a bit disappointed in myself that I haven't seized the opportunity as much as I have. Well, when the question, is brought to me, what are my new skills?
Yeah.
It's like, not that much, It's like I've been so caught up with just surviving.
Yes. It's
like, where are my new skills? And that's something that I would actually like to explore, like, to really to find the time to find those new skills. Like, what has made me a good actor in the past is that I'm always discovering something new on stage, and I think I'm able to relay that, to bring that out into the audience and to communicate that. I think every audience, we want to be excited on stage.
Yes.
And so this is a reminder, one of the, like, that's a great thing about acting. But for me as a stage actor, I sort of feel, I'm still having to punch in, punch out. Like, ultimately, I'm given a parameter.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I never stop exploring, but I always feel frustrated with the fact that I have these parameters to go by for, this 6-month run, or, maybe if it's just for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, and yes, getting close to the question, I see the comparison, and that's interesting where it is. What we're experiencing right now with COVID is like time has stood still. Like, we're punching in, punching out. It's like we go to bed, we wake up. It's like we're quite limited to what we can do.
Yeah.
But what is it? It's up to us to sort of figure out what we can get out of that limited space.
Yes.
What are the new discoveries?
Some people in these times have had a COVID story.
I have a story. I mean, I would have many COVID stories, but it's sort of like more journal, personal, it's 3 p.m. I want to die. Like, it's, that's my personal COVID story. But my buddy, and like what you've been doing a lot of hosting or operating live stream stuff.
Yeah.
My buddy hired me hired me to accompany him and his co-writer. They were doing a cabaret fundraiser for a play that they're doing in Toronto.
Yeah.
He asked me to get tested. I said yes because we were going to be in close contact and stuff, and I had booked a space out in the country where we could, a friend's place where it was a big enough space.
Yeah.
And so my buddy from Toronto came here to rehearse with me 2 days after we both got tested. And we were in this room rehearsing, and he had a mask on. And I think I had a mask on. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. This was, November 2020. And then it was like, okay, great rehearsal. See you in a couple of days. I go early to the space to set up, and I had hired my buddy to do the camera work and everything. And the owner of the place was there with his wife, and my buddy's partner shows up and says, Emilio's out in the car. He can't come in because 10 minutes ago we just got a call from the nurse that he's positive.
No!
And I just sat there in my friend's space. We're waiting and everything's set up. I've been touching things. My engineer partner's been touching things. It's like, we have to close up. We have to close up and leave. And everyone went their separate ways, got tested again. Turns out he was, it was a false positive.
Oh, no. So,
but the work that was put into doing the cabaret, setting up the stream, blah, 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 and then, the realization, the reminder, this is why we're, in this situation, because it's close to home. It is, everyone is exposed and could be exposed, and, this is not a drill, this is really happening. And, I don't think my friend would mind me sharing the story.
Of course.
We're blessed that we could, look back at it and sort of like, curse, but laugh about it at the same time. But, just like a false positive, because when I left the space, it was,
oh my God.
Go down the list. It's like when your wallet gets stolen, it's like, now I got to call these companies, and of course this is worse. People's lives are at stake, but it's like, who do I have to call? Who have I been in contact with? Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like 14 days of your life suddenly drop off the end of the.
Yes.
Yeah. You must have had some times during this when you thought, how am I going to get out of this? Like, you might have some dark moments, and how did you deal with that?
Oh, how do I deal with? Well, I'm such a depressing person to begin with. Like, before COVID, I had so many dark moments, and it's like the way that I would always get over my humps is my work. My art, like music, whether it's music or writing. And so the only difference is, in doing the work now, it's not only it's forcing me to apply more of myself in a more focused me, which gives me pleasure, because in turn I'm just becoming a better artist. But also it is the reminder itself, and just, I don't know if it's a physiological thing or whatever, but I'm more relaxed, I'm more present, and this, as far as getting over those dark moments, is just putting myself in the work and listening to my ideas, forcing myself to come up with ideas, forcing myself to be curious about coming up with new ideas. That's what I really do to overcome these dark moments, is to is to get creative.
Right.
And I really feel that we're in such a messy situation. The world is so messed up, and we are consuming so much that we are consumed.
Yeah.
It's like for me to sort of escape that, I have to get creative. I have to get creative about my existence, about my interaction, my socializing. Like get creative with, with hope, with a career. Like we're artists. We're constantly having, okay, how are we going to pay rent this month?
Right.
Got to get creative. There are those moments where it's like, this isn't so bad. Like, I'm left alone. I'm not humping gear as much, like as you say. But I think what cancels that out, because that's a fleeting. That positive feeling is fleeting when you think of the big picture.
Right.
Is like, but do I want to be on vacation for the rest of my life? Like, we're not going back to any normal. Like, from here on in, we're making it up as we go along, man. Like, so
you're right.
I hope for your sake, yes, that there is no more humping of gear.
Yeah.
Because the longer this goes on, the older we get. And,
the less we want to do.
Yeah, but there's just a concern. Okay, well, what will there be for us out there? As far as making an honest living. Putting money in our pocket. Oh, that's hilarious.
Sorry about that.
See, there's another advantage. It's like, sure, Dad would have come to the cottage, in Barrie, like every summer, like he always does if there wasn't COVID.
Yeah.
Maybe we'd be seeing each other, like I'd go there for Christmas, but it's like he was on Messenger. We were able to like FaceTime, 10 people on a screen, from all over Canada, and to be connected. And so there are these moments where it's like, this is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah.
This is a good thing. And, sometimes, yes, aside from the deaths, COVID has been an eye-opener for, reminding us that we have to stop, not only just take a breath, but breathe, finally we're getting to understand the difference between breath and breathe.
Yeah. I think you're answering my next question, which is like, what have you learned from all of this in terms of going forward? I mean, how do you see the future?
Well, it's like I was with my girlfriend trying to think of that expression. I think I just mumbled it a few times, like, the more I know, the less I know, or whatever, like one of those. Yeah. And yes, it's, it's like, and it's to go back to the beginning with what have I learned about COVID, since the outbreak, what have I learned, and it's like, well, there's a list of things that I've learned and discovered, about cooking, about, gardening, about, just like owning a house, fixing a house. Like, I mean, the list it's ridiculous. Being in a relationship, living with someone else, like, so getting back to moving forward, it's like, well, to help get rid of that darkness and that those moments of darkness where it's like, oh my God, we're doomed. It's like, no, this is just a new beginning. Yeah. It's like we're starting fresh. So what are we doing with the tools that we have? How do we make this work? How do we sustain? It's like, yes, I have to put more work into self-preservation. I have to put more work into just, like that actor where it's like the new discoveries. It's like you're punching in, punching out. You're acting on stage with these fellow actors. Don't lose that thirst for knowledge, for new beginnings, new discoveries. Don't, more and more, I'm trying not to think of it as punching in, punching out. And I know getting whenever I go on the stage, I haven't done any live theater acting, but I've been performing live, and the music has never felt so good. You know, like playing music live is just, I'm even more committed. And so moving forward, you know, I think it's more of what we're experiencing now. I don't think we're going to get off that easy. You know, I think it's going to be a lot of, and we had talked about it before, and it's in a conversation about patronage, that idea, you know, like where there's these rich guys in Austria who just hire Mozart to come and, you know, compose a piece, and I got, you know, 10 of my best friends were like, you know, having drinks and hors d'oeuvres, you know, want some music to keep us company, and so I think there's going to be a lot of that, where it's like there's going to be smaller groups, but it's going to be more, there's going to be more of the idea of artists being commissioned for specific events, for certain functions, be it private or, you know, virtual, online stuff. The work will always be there, but it's going to be more of a struggle for all of us, you know, whether we're an artist or not. It's so moving forward, looking ahead, it's more hard work, you know, and it's like it's do or die, not only with like these viruses, because, you know, I feel that, you know, once this one, we think we got this one cornered, you know, another one's going to pop up, and, you know, it's evolution. It's the planet's getting old, but, you know, with the overpopulation, it's the idea of we have to be incredibly selfless for the sake of our environment, and for not just for our neighbor, but for the planet. And so it's a I think a global concern, question, and I think it's a big question mark that looms, is like, you know, what do I see moving forward? You know, a lot more deaths, a lot more fear and anxiety, and a lot more, a bigger need for universal love, you know? Love for thyself, but love for the planet.
How do we actually protest in these times? How do we actually go forward?
I'm just going to quickly look up this quote that I put aside specifically for this talk, and I'm glad you brought it up. And this is a James Baldwin quote. The ways in which the Negro has affected the American psychology are betrayed in our popular culture and in our morality. And our estrangement from him is the depth of our estrangement from ourselves. So what I get from that is something that sort of rings true now. And it says a lot, not that the Negro, the colored person in the BIPOC community is the scapegoat to these compounded frustrations that the world is feeling, that the average white guy is experiencing, and through that frustration, he is taking it out on the black person. I'm not suggesting that entirely, but it is the I think it's leaning towards that idea that it's like, you know, all for one, you know, and so it is forcing us again, the black race, the minority, to group up and to say, you know, they've got us surrounded. You know, like what are we doing? How do we protest? But that's something that we as a you know, as a race have been doing for centuries. You know, it's like, hence, you know, the Black Renaissance, the Black movement hence, tribes all over the world. To have a tribe is to gain power, to gain a community, and so it's amazing. What's happening now is, yes, there is the Me Too, there is the BLM, and it is a wonderful thing, and it is a necessary evolution, and dare I say revolution, because we've been claiming revolution. Every year we're fighting for a revolution. There's someone on this planet that is wanting, is revolting, is wanting to revolt, to protest. But more so now than ever, we as a black race stand for what is right, for something that is that cannot be looked away. And there are many people, whether they're yellow, white, of any race or creed, are feeling the same way, where it is like, it exemplifies the feeling, that the universal feeling that we're all going through. It's compounding that feeling like, I need to be heard. Right. We are, that 1% is large, where it's like, it is time for me to be heard, and it is no longer can you look away. So because of all the social media, that is our method of protesting, is by visually making an appearance. We can type it out and we can send it. We can send letters, but that is, holy smokes! How many of us are sending messages, smoke signals? So with protests, again, it is now this generation are finding new ways. They're reimagining the idea of a revolution, of a protest. They're discovering new ways of being heard. So, and I think that this, what James Baldwin is saying, we've become estranged from ourselves. We're losing touch of what it even means to have freedom. Not even the white person is feeling free. So of course they're going to take it out on a person who is not of his same color. He's going to blame it on someone else, and so it's that estrangement from ourselves that is now forcing a lot of people, especially in the black communities, the diverse communities, to be like, there are so many wrongs about this. There's so many things wrong about the system before, but now it's just compounded. It's like the system, we have no choice but to believe that it was never meant to work.
Yeah.
And we can't help but blame it on our culture, our today's popular culture. I'm talking TikTok. Yeah. Even Facebook. Instagram. Become a celebrity overnight if you have X amount of followers. It's like, but what have you done? This is I'm following an empty leader. What are we believing in? We've become estranged. We've lost touch of what it means to even exist. So that's why I think people are protesting and finding ways of protesting, is because it's like, in order for me to be heard, to exist, and to have purpose, I need someone to take responsibility. I need someone to step up and to represent. I'm looking for representation. I want to be recognized.
You're going to see that in Georgia.
Yeah.
You heard they elected their first ever black representative to Congress.
That is amazing. Today. Yeah.
So I've got one question for you, but before we wrap up, which is, it's June 2021. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. What are you doing? Where are you?
I'm on a beach in Croatia.
Yeah.
I'm on a beach in Croatia, but you know, I don't know whether that's a dream that I had, and it's, you know, time has become all distorted, so it's like dreams get disjointed with reality.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to believe anymore, but that's what I would like to believe, is that I'm on a beach in Croatia, being able to fly, to travel.
Yeah.
But realistically, if I wake up, I'm at fourth line. This is ideally what I'd like to see, is that I'm doing a local theater.
Yeah.
I'm doing local theater, strengthening the community again, by doing public performances, whether it's music or theater. That's what I see myself doing in June. I see myself, you know, I've been offered to do a gig in Prince Edward Island. I would love to see that through. I've been offered New Brunswick, Halifax. So it all involves traveling.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll also be working at Fourth Line, hopefully creating theater, writing plays about racially diverse communities in the Peterborough area, and bringing stories to life, untold stories about our history, about people of the diverse race, their history, finding out about their lineage, and it's those stories that I want to tell over the summer of 2021.
Well, I can't wait to see them, and it will be my pleasure to be involved in whatever way I can.
Yeah, man, you will be.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, Beau.
Thank you.
It's been so long since we've been here, this moment that we hold so dear. It felt as though night would forever stay. When you feel that low, there's always hope. Reach for my hand, I'll lead you home. It's there for you to always find the way. I'll tell you once, then tell you twice. Don't doubt it, look into my eyes. I'll always be your safest place to fall. If you ask me what is coming, well, I don't know, but I'm loving you. One thing I'm sure of, the pain will come and go, but we're better off together than alone. Now let's sit and dim the lights, tell tales of sleepless nights. The world is burning, tearing at the seams. We'll share truth about our lives. We'll pray time will make this right. 'Cause I need you here, not only in my dreams. I'll tell you once, then tell you twice. Don't doubt it, look into my eyes. I'll always be your safest place to fall. If you ask me what is coming, well, I don't know, but I'm loving you. One thing I'm sure of, the pain will come